Hey guys, this is Abhishek from gadgetsreview.com, and today we are going to do a hands-on comparison of the two tablets which we have in the market. And these two tablets come from these respective companies. This one is from Samsung. This is the Samsung Tab 3. The model number is T211, whereas we have this Micromax Canvas Tab. The model number of this device is P650. Now the reason why we are doing the comparison of both of these tablets is that both of these tablets are kind of close to each other in terms of the price at which they are coming. So this tablet is available for a price of around 15,000 Indian rupees in the market, which is from Micromax, and this one comes for a price of around 12 to 13,000 Indian rupees approximately in that particular price bracket. So we are going to do a hands-on comparison of these two tablets in terms of the specifications, in terms of the overall performance, the gaming performance of these two devices, and the other things as well, as far as the physical form factor and the portability as well. Now first of all, starting with the build quality, I would like to say that the build quality which we see on both of these tablets is pretty good. However, you have a pretty better build quality on the Micromax Canvas Tab because we have aluminum at the back side which does feel solid, and you have plastic over here. So again, the overall build quality of this device is actually better than the one which we see from Samsung, as you can see. However, the back cover on the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch is non-removable, and same goes with the Canvas Tab as well. In terms of the ports and connectivity, both of these tablets support 3G, and this one supports the SIM card as well. However, this one also supports a SIM card with the help of micro SIM, and again you have micro SD memory card slot on this device to expand the storage, whereas we do have a micro SD memory card slot on the Samsung Tab as well to expand. Talking about the form factor, in terms of the overall form factor, if you hold these tablets in one hand, this one is slightly good actually in terms of the overall form factor to hold it one hand, because you can easily hold this tablet in one hand. It is not that wide in terms of the overall width, whereas this tablet on the other hand, which has 1 inch higher display size, and maybe because of that the tablet is not so good is in terms of the overall form factor. You cannot hold this tablet properly in one hand because you will always have to actually use two of your hands in order to carry this tablet. So again, because of the width basically of this tablet, because of the 8-inch display which is slightly higher than the 7-inch display which we have on the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch, this one is quite lesser in terms of the portability, so you cannot carry it properly just like this one. So you can hold this tablet in one hand quite easily, whereas you cannot do the same with the Micromax Canvas Tab, which is pretty wide in terms of the overall width. Now let's compare these devices from the side profiles. If we take a look over the side profile, we can easily notice that the thickness of these tablets are fairly close to each other. When we talk about the thickness, we have 9.6mm of thickness on the Micromax Canvas Tab, whereas we have the 9.9mm of thickness on the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch model. When it comes to the connectivity and ports, on this side we see the slot for the micro SIM, and we have the slot for the micro SD memory card on this device, whereas we see nothing on this side on the Canvas Tab. And if we take a look over here, on the top we have the 3.5mm audio jack on both of these tablets. You have the micro USB port for data syncing and charging, and you have the power and sleep key which is actually placed at the top, and it is quite difficult to access this power and sleep key because it is actually placed at the top, so the location of the power and sleep key is not that good. And when it comes to this side, we have the power and sleep key on the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch model. We have the volume rocker, and again these two buttons are quite nicely placed. You can easily access them. We do have a secondary mic on this device for noise cancellation and video chat, and we have the same over here as well, as you can see. Now the major difference here is in the camera, because we have a 5-megapixel autofocus camera on the Micromax Canvas Tab, whereas we have a 3.15-megapixel camera on the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch model. When it comes to the video recording capability, this camera can record high definition video at 1080p with 30 frames per second, whereas this device can be used to record the video from the back camera at 720p with 30 frames per second. It cannot record high definition video at 1080p. When we talk about the front side of these two devices, we have the front camera which is there on both of these tablets, and if we talk about the front camera, we have a 2-megapixel camera on the Micromax Canvas Tab, whereas we have a 1.3-megapixel camera on the Samsung Galaxy Tab. Both of these cameras are fixed focus. When it comes to the earpiece, we have the metallic earpiece on both of these phones. We have the proximity and ambient light sensors over here, whereas we do not have the proximity and ambient light sensor over here. Both of these devices support GSM voice calling as well. And in terms of the overall look and feel, I would definitely point out that this tablet is quite large to hold in one hand, whereas this one is quite portable to hold in one hand. If we compare both of these tablets in terms of the size, this one is definitely smaller. And now one thing which is good on the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch model is that the loudspeaker is actually placed at the bottom, and we have a primary mic over here for voice calling. We have the micro USB port for data syncing and charging, whereas the loudspeaker placement in terms of the location for the Micromax Canvas tab is actually at the back side. So whenever you are watching a video and you place this tablet like this on a table, the sound will get blocked which is coming out from the loudspeaker because the placement is at the back, whereas the same will not happen because of the nice placement which is actually at the bottom when you use the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch model. Now talking about the weight of these two tablets, the Micromax Canvas Tab is slightly heavier as compared to the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch, and again this tablet is quite portable to carry, so you won't feel the weight of this tablet as much as you do for the Micromax Canvas Tab. Now if we take a look over the display of these two devices, the display which we have on the Canvas Tab is IPS LCD display, whereas we have a TFT capacitive touchscreen display on the Samsung Galaxy Tab. Now in terms of the overall brightness, we have set both of these tablets to full brightness. Still the display is not that bright on this device as compared to this one, which you can easily notice. As far as viewing angles are concerned, viewing angles are pretty wide on both of these tablets. You can view the screen from extreme viewing angles, either from the sideways or from vertical angles as well. And same goes for the Samsung Galaxy Tab, for the Micromax Canvas Tab as well, as you can see. But you might notice slight fading of colors on both of these tablets when you view them from extreme viewing angles, especially whenever you are watching some entertainment content like videos or playing games. Talking about the display resolution, we have a resolution of 768x1024 on the 8-inch display of the Micromax Canvas Tab, whereas we have a resolution of 600x1024 on the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch model. And again this one has slightly higher pixel density at 170 pixels per inch, whereas this one has 160 pixels per inch. So in terms of the pixelation, if we take a look over the icons and the text formation, you won't notice pixelation on any of these two displays. However, you might notice slight softness in the pixels which form the text which is there below the icons on these two screens. But again, in terms of the overall document and the overall experience when it comes to reading a document on these two devices, as far as display is concerned, you won't notice pixelation with naked eyes very easily. Talking about the UI, we have touch-based UI running on top of Android on the Samsung Galaxy Tab, whereas we have stock Android UI which is running on the Micromax Canvas Tab. And again this one is slightly better in terms of the overall UI transitions, and this one I find quite snappy as compared to this UI which lag whenever you run large number of applications on the device, whereas this one is quite snappy in terms of the transitions and better in terms of the overall UI speed. Just to give you an idea about the color reproduction, we have set the same wallpaper on both of these two displays, and again as you can see the brightness levels are actually good on this display, as you can easily notice, whereas they are not so good on this device with the same wallpaper. However, the overall clarity of these two displays is pretty good, but in terms of the overall colors, I would say this one looks better in terms of the overall colors as of now if we compare with this one, only because of better brightness I would say. But again, the clarity of the colors or the saturation of colors is not that good. If you actually compare both of these devices, they are equally the same. So here we have the system information for both of these two tablets. As you can see, we have ARM V7 processor on both of these devices. When it comes to the processor type, you have a quad-core processor on this device clocked at 1.2 GHz, whereas this one has a dual-core processor clocked at 1.2 GHz again. Display resolution is concerned, we have a 768x976 resolution on this device, whereas we have 600x1024 resolution on this device. We have the GPU which is 1000 graphics engine on this one, whereas we have GPU power we are STX 544MP because this device has the MediaTek 6589 chipset. If we talk about the sensors over here on these two tablets, we have more number of sensors on this device, including the light sensor, proximity sensor, we have the grip sensor as well, and we have acceleration, magnetic field sensor, orientation and auto rotation sensor. Whereas on this device we only find these three sensors, which include the accelerometer sensor, orientation and magnetic field sensor. We do not have an ambient light sensor on this device, whereas we have it on this device. So on this device you will need to actually control the brightness of the device whenever you are outdoors manually. On this device it will automatically adjust to the environment in which you are, and it will control the brightness, and it will also save the battery on the device to a greater extent. Another thing to notice when it comes to the front display, we have the touch capacitive buttons which are there within the display of this device, whereas they could have actually placed it on the body of the phone. Whereas on this device we have the touch capacitive buttons which are there on the body of the phone, and we have a physical home button on this device, which is actually better for many people out there who like the physical home button. On the battery compartment, we have a higher battery on this device, which is 4800 mAh, again non-removable, and we have a 4000 mAh battery on this device. So battery is slightly higher on this device. However, the overall battery backup from both of these two tablets is almost the same. Another good thing about the Micromax Canvas tab is that it has a matte finish with metal at the back, whereas we have a glossy plastic cover on the back side of the Samsung Galaxy Tab. The version of Android which comes preloaded on the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch is 4.1.2, as you can see, whereas we have a slightly higher version of Android which comes preloaded on the Micromax Canvas Tab, which is 4.2.1. Talking about the storage, we have 8 GB of internal storage on the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch, and out of which as of now 4.52 is available, whereas the overall available memory is slightly higher because we have installed certain applications of around 600 MB. That is why it is lesser, but you get around 5 GB approximately user available on this device, and you do have SD card support. Maximum 64 GB SD card can be used on this device, the micro SD memory card. And whereas on this device we have 16 GB of internal memory, and out of which around 1.373 GB is reserved by the operating system for applications. And whereas the user available memory on this device is higher, much higher than this one, which is around 11.07 GB, and you also get some system available memory for applications at least. So you get around 12 GB of available storage on this device as compared to Micromax, as compared to the Samsung Galaxy Tab. And this device also has the micro SD memory card slot, which we can see over here. So you can expand the storage of the device with a micro SD memory card up to 32 GB maximum. You have 1 GB of RAM on both of these tablets, and out of 1 GB of RAM you have around 621 MB of RAM, which is free on the Micromax Canvas Tab, whereas this device on the other hand has the 417 MB of RAM free. Now when it comes to the gaming performance, we have got a score of 51.1 FPS on the Nina Mark for the Micromax Canvas Tab, whereas we have got a score of 47.7 FPS, which is slightly lesser as compared to the score which we have got on this device. And both of these devices are equally good in terms of the overall gaming performance. However, you can actually run both the casual as well as the graphic intensive game on this device, but the resolution which we have on this device will give you a 4:3 aspect ratio, whereas you will have a 16:9 aspect ratio. So in terms of that aspect ratio which you will get on this device, you will get a better multimedia experience as well as the gaming experience when you play the games, whereas you will get the same good performance on this device as well as far as gaming performance or multimedia experience is concerned, but the resolution will give you a 4:3 aspect ratio. So especially whenever you are watching video which are recorded at 16:9 aspect ratio, you will see a slight amount of stretching of the items, which are slight amount of stretching of the objects which are there in the video. That will cause you a problem to some extent, but you will get used to it. Now concluding our review of the comparison of these two tablets, I would like to say both of these tablets are equally good in terms of the value for money. However, you get a 16:9 aspect ratio on this device as compared to the 4:3 aspect ratio which you will get on the Micromax Canvas Tab. So you will have a better experience for the multimedia and gaming on this device. In terms of the performance, both of these devices are equally good. However, you might feel that this device performs slightly better on the UI, at least because the UI transition are kind of smooth on this device, whereas they are pretty okay on this device as well, but they get to slow a lot whenever you are running applications in the background, whereas this device is quite snappy because it is running stock Android, so there is no UI running which is running on top of Android on this device, so we'll get a better snappy UI on this device. And when it comes to the applications, you have support on both of these devices. All the application will run, all the games which will run on this device, they will run on that tablet as well. So in terms of the gaming, there is no issue on any of these two tablets, but the overall performance as far as the graphics are concerned, we have find it better on this device as compared to this device when it comes to gaming. That is something which we have experienced. When it comes to the sensors, you do not have a proximity and ambient light sensor on this device, whereas you have it on the Samsung Galaxy Tab. So this device is going to give you a better battery backup because the ambient light sensor is also there, so it will adjust the brightness automatically in as per the environment in which you are. And there is also a proximity sensor, so it will turn off the display whenever you are talking with this tablet. You have the GSM calling functionality on both of these tablets. The overall camera performance, I would say, is better on the Micromax Canvas tab. We have a 5 megapixel camera which can record high definition video, and it can also take pretty good photos in low light, and in daylight it does perform pretty well. Whereas on this device we can take average kind of photos. In terms of low light, they are not too good. When it comes to daylight, they are pretty good. But when it comes to video recording capability, this can only record a video at 720p at 30 frames per second. It cannot record a video at 1080p, unlike this one. So these are the comparison points. In terms of the build quality, I would say this one is slightly better. In terms of the performance, both of them are equally good. You have a better camera performance on this device. However, if you talk about the after sales support, which is the most crucial thing once you buy a tablet, you will get a much better after sales support for the Samsung Galaxy Tab once you buy it, whereas the after sales support for the Micromax Canvas Tab is not going to be that good. So that is something which we have to tell you right now as far as the comparison of these two devices are concerned. Both of these devices are equally good and value for money device. You can get this tablet for slightly higher price of around 15,000 Indian rupees, whereas you can get this one for around 12,000 Indian rupees. So this one is little bit better in terms of the overall value for money. However, you get a lesser display size on this device, whereas we have a 8-inch of display on this device and we have a 7-inch of display on this device. So it is your call which one you would like to pick. The after sales support is going to be better for this one. So that's all from us as far as the quick hands-on comparison of the Micromax Canvas Tab and the Samsung Galaxy Tab 7-inch model. So do let us know if you have any specific question for any of these two devices. We would love to help you. You can like this video if this video helped you by clicking the like button below. You can subscribe to our YouTube video channel for more videos like this by clicking the subscribe button below. Thanks for watching this video. This is Abhishek signing off. Thank you.